Now this one doesn't need that much context because all you need is an explanation, and you can find anything on YouTube or on Google search. You will find everything about what Miss Third said about Mr. Depp. So a smear campaign, also referred to as a smear tactic or simply a smear, is an effort to damage or call into question someone's reputation by propounding negative propaganda. It makes use of discrediting tactics. It can be applied to individuals or groups. Common targets are public officials, politicians, political candidates, activists, and ex-spouses. The term also applies in other contexts such as the workplace. The term smear campaign became popular around 1936. So, when you heard how ironic is that? The testimony of Miss Third. This is when you know there's going to be a smear campaign when there is no evidence being shared but people believe her. And that's exactly what she wanted, and she knew about it. She knew people would believe her. Now I will show you of course a clip which, well, you know what? Never mind that. That clip has been shared a million times, where she said that, "Tell the world, Johnny, I, Johnny Depp, a man. I am a victim of abuse. Tell the world, Johnny, that I, a man, am a victim of abuse. Tell the world. And see who will side with you. Tell the judge and the jury and see who will side with you. In other words, I know that what I'm saying is going to throw dirt on your name, and I will get away with it, and people will believe me regardless of the absence of evidence." And that is what a smear campaign means. When you're just throwing dirt at somebody just to destroy them. And she's out there to destroy him. Hence why she's a malignant narcissist. Now here is an example of Amber Third blaming others for the things she has done herself. And this is the exact same face that I'm having when I hear her talking that everybody is at fault except her.
So you did give these pictures to People magazine?
No, I gave these pictures actually to my lawyers and my representatives at the time.
So it's your testimony, Ms. Heard, that your lawyers and representatives gave these pictures of their client to People magazine in the middle of a contentious divorce?
I certainly did not personally give it. No.
This is exactly what I mean. Everybody is at fault except her. Now let's talk about the inability to self-regulate their emotions. And you're gonna see here what Amber Heard's exactly saying.
There can be no physical violence.
I can't promise you that I'll be perfect. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. God, I fucking sometimes get so mad I lose it. Call me out on it and help me.
Now this is a trait that borderline personality disorder has as well. However, malignant narcissists have the exact same thing. So here she admits that she's unable to self-regulate her emotions, has no control over it, or wants him to step in and step up. So when you step in and step up, that is where you see that the emotions that she's showing are not being regulated. Now here is a great example of Amber lashing out, and take a good look at her eyes when she responds.
You wanted to be seen, excuse me, as a noble victim of domestic violence,
I
didn't
have
you?
never
wanted to be seen as a victim, nor have I ever called myself one.
And that one is a big lie. She has never called herself a victim, while the op-ed was about her calling herself a victim of abuse. I love when these people get caught in their lies, and especially exposing themselves. So, the fifth trait, taking advantage of people to achieve their own goals. What stupidity Miss Heard has got to have in her brains to come up with threats and sanctions against Disney. Hear this out. A petition to compel further responses to deposition subpoena and for sanctions was filed on behalf of Miss Sturt against Disney regarding document production responses and declarations provided by Disney responding to a subpoena request by Miss Sturt that failed to include necessary declarations in conformity with Evidence Code Section 1561. The hearing on that petition for relief is scheduled for February 11th, 2021. There are 4 categories of these documents in the subpoena to Disney. See attached file, or see attached Exhibit A. Disney provided documents for 3 categories: a declaration of no records for the 4th. Disney has provided declarations with their produced records and also provided a declaration of counsel pursuant to Evidence Code Section 1561E. Yet those declarations do not indicate in substance or any fashion that all of the records have been provided. Evidence Code Section 1561 requires that when documents are produced, I don't see what is being written here, but anyways. So what happened was, she was trying to threaten Disney, and because of that, she thought she could take advantage of them being against Johnny Depp. However, Disney, because of the ongoing trial that's going, they decided to my opinion, backpedal a bit. Therefore, they don't want any part and they don't care about the so-called outcome of this procedure. So Amber Heard tried to take advantage, but didn't get anything, didn't get even close. In fact, because of this, she got blacklisted by Disney, and if I'm correct, many other places as well. So her acting career is actually quite over. And I'm assuming that Warner Bros. Will be the next one to follow. So having that said, this is exactly what I mean with taking advantage of others to achieve their own goals. But there is more, of course, because today I saw a video, which I don't have to actually show. You already saw here more than enough. But it shows that she took pictures of Johnny Depp being asleep, accusing him of being high, to actually make him look bad, to benefit from that. That was her idea of taking advantage of Johnny. However, Camille Vasquez, she called her out on her bluff and nonsense, and boy, she didn't like that. The sixth trait, lack of empathy for people, and especially her ex-spouse in this case, when she was married to him at that moment. You're going to see that she has no empathy. She doesn't care about Johnny's well-being whatsoever. All she cared about was taking advantage of him, like I said in a previous scene that I actually didn't want to show. Well, I'm going to show after all, because this does match with the lack of empathy for people. So let's start.
Ms. Heard, let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1090, which is already in evidence. You took this photograph, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And you testified that this was taken in Tokyo in July of 2013, correct?
Yes.
So you decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep on the floor?
He was passed out.
That's a yes.
And I took a picture of him because he wouldn't remember. He claimed he didn't pass out that way.
Now that is a straight up lie. What she did was taking a picture as a means of proof that he is a substance abuser. Therefore, oh, look at me being a victim. Look at Johnny, he's using substance. And oh, poor me. So let me put it this way. This was in the beginning of their partnership. Now let me get this straight. If you care about your partner, the last thing you're going to do is take a picture of that person, regardless if they don't believe you or not. The first thing that should come to your mind is, I gotta do whatever I have to do in order to pick him up and put him on the bed, take care of him. Make sure that he's fine. That is the first thing somebody with empathy does. Somebody that has no empathy will be thinking like, oh wow, I could actually use this moment to capture it and use it against him later on. Let's continue.
And sometimes security would carry him like a baby into bed, get him changed.
Look at how condescending she tries to talk about him. They tried to carry him like a baby. Why not carefully choose your words and be honest and say, well, they carried him, put him on the bed, and then blah. No, they carried him like a baby. So condescending. Lack of empathy. It oozes out of it.
And he would be none the wiser. So I started taking pictures of it so that he knew that it was real, that it had gotten this bad.
Yeah, of course. And the Easter Bunny has green spots, purple spots, gold spots, and laced chocolate and brownie eggs. So I guess since I've said it, that must be true as well. Now this is what it looks like to have no empathy for people. But there is more.
Ms. Hurd, does this refresh your recollection that you did in fact send this picture to your friend Rocky?
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? This is what I've been dealing with. So here is Mr. Depp with ice cream spilled all over his pants. She took a picture and sent it. This is what I've been dealing with. Does this look like somebody that cares so much about their partner? Or does this look like somebody who tries to take advantage of their temporary misery, take footage, send it to somebody, and then not doing anything about it? Why does someone has to see what your partner is going through if you care about that person, if you care deeply about that person? This can only be done by somebody who has a heart of stone.
Pennington?
Yes, I did.
And you sent it to her on August 7th, 2014 at 11:24 p.m., correct?
That is correct.
So you sent Ms. Pennington this picture of Mr. Depp with ice cream spilled on him, right?
That is correct.
And you wrote, quote, "This is what I've been dealing with," end quote. Did I read that right?
You did read that right. That's correct.
And this is you protecting Mr. Depp.
That was me
Exactly.
getting support from my best friend.
Oh wow, so showing a picture and saying this is what I've been dealing with is getting support from your friend. Wow, nice logic. So the next time when Amber Third actually falls on the ground, breaks her legs for example, and passes out, I take picture of her and say, guys, I need some support. This is what I've been dealing with. Wow. Wow. What a caring person. No wonder they call her Amber Third. Enough of this. Well, 7th Trade doesn't need any actual video for it, because it says here, never experiencing remorse or feeling like they need to apologize unless it's for their own benefit. Now what you see here is exactly what I showed you in the 2nd trait. The 2nd trait says blaming other for their bad behavior or wrongdoing. So it's never their fault. That's why they feel no remorse when they've done something. As long as they can accuse somebody of what they have done, that's all that's need to be done. Now, if they have to look good or appear to look good, then they will come up with an insincere apology that you will notice directly is insincere, and then they'll try to make it public so everybody can see how insincere they are. So that's when they think about their own benefit. Other than that, they don't give a rat's behind about any apology or feel remorse. The eighth trait, they will do anything that takes to get what they want regardless of harm it causes others. So, here in this case, Amber Heard, she doesn't care about James Franco. She doesn't care if what she does harms him. The guy pulled out. He pulled out as a witness and doesn't want anything to have to do with it. But, regardless of that, she still decides to involve him in her testimony. Just take a look at this clip that I'm going to show you.
I got an offer to do a job, which was already a problem, or problematic. I was considering working on a TV series that had James Franco in it.
It seems like Amber decided to actually bring James Franco to court whether he liked it or not. He'd been asked whether he would appear as a witness for the case, but it seems like he had refused the offer, and now Amber is hell-bent on making sure he appears in her stories.
With the fact that I had even entertained doing this job that involved James Franco was a pressure cooker.
Here she explains that since Johnny was angry with her for having a double act or sex scene, he didn't want her acting with James Franco. But that's the thing. Amber had already met up with James a few times and Johnny knew about it. She claims she and Johnny watched the screening of London Fields before he got furious and started attacking her for wanting to appear in the movie with James Franco.
He demanded that we watch a screener of it, which is like a version of the film before it's released.
But the thing with the movie with Franco was it was later, much later after the release of London Fields, meaning during the time they were watching the screening of London Fields, Amber didn't have a clue on any roles with James Franco. Here you can hear her lie about the fact that Johnny was angry with her for considering a movie with Franco.
There was another film I had coming out that I had previously shot.
Take a look at her
It's called
blinking.
London Fields. It was a source of a lot of fighting between us because of the sexuality in the role.
But how would Johnny have known this if Amber herself didn't? The two had actually had an argument about James Franco and the alleged movie, but it was over phone and it wasn't because of any nudity or sex scenes. It was because Johnny suspected she was having an affair with James Franco, so her story keeps changing and twisting itself over facts that can easily be found online.
And you suspected that Amber was having an affair with James Franco, correct? That was the reason for your argument.
Yeah.
It's not like Johnny was lying about Amber having an affair. It's all over the internet, videos of her with James Franco. So trying to lie about it in court doesn't change the fact that we know. Anyways, let's continue watching videos as we update you on the proceedings.
Als ik niet meer naast jou wakker.
So, in this case, you can see that she doesn't care about James Franco. She wants to involve him in her case without caring about what he thinks of it. He said he doesn't want any part, he refused to be a witness, yet she thought, well, I don't care. I need to do and I will do anything, whatever it takes to get what I want, regardless if it harms you or not. So that's the next proof of the trait. Now the next trait is a pattern of violating the rights of others. Now, we don't need more evidence than what I've showed you at the sixth trait, lack of empathy for people, when I showed you a video of Amber Heard taking pictures of Johnny Depp being asleep in a corner in a Tokyo hotel of Japan, and one with ice cream on his pants while being passed out, either asleep or not feeling well whatsoever. First thing is, there is a right to privacy, but she decided to share this with others. Also, the way she tries to use this against him, to control him, to violate him. Think about this for a second. Does anyone with empathy thinks about violating anything of the one they love? And this is just not one thing, plenty of things. Hence why I said a pattern of violating the rights of others. Now, if that wasn't enough, think about the lawyer she accuses for the picture. And there is one. You can find it on YouTube. Search Amber Heard hurts her sister. And that was a video quite a while ago. I think that was back in 2009. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. Where her friends were asking about what Amber has done to her. Because she had some visible marks on her body. Violating another right. The 10th trait, being extremely arrogant and self-centered. Take a look at how Amber Heard is treating people. Just take a look how arrogant she is, how she thinks highly of herself.
Why is he filming?
Detective.
Well, he just...
Detective, I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry. We met Jean-Claude Van.
Really?
Yeah, just one for the newsletter. The sooner we get this done.
Get my car
What
back.
the hell's going on over there?
Take a picture.
Just one.
Here,
Are we in?
Smile. Did you tell him yet? Did you want...
See how she is when nobody purposely films her right in her face where she can act. Oh, no. She hasn't seen this. And this is what makes it even worse. Another narcissistic trait. Great person, huh? The 11th trait. This and the next are the two last of the traits that I've been seeing. She is a pathological liar. Lies about anything and everything, makes up more lies to cover up her previous lies. Now in this scene, you will see how that works out for her.
You testified that this is a picture you took after that incident, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, that was one where he grabbed me.
And hit you in the face so many times that you don't remember. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
And there's no injuries to your face in this picture, are there?
Not that this picture shows.
And there's no medical records reflecting that you sought treatment after this alleged incident either.
I did not seek medical treatment at this time.
So there's no medical records reflecting any injuries to your face after he hit you several times.
I did not need to go to the doctor at the time.
Despite hitting you several times that you lost count with rings on on his fingers.
That's correct. I did not seek medical attention, other than my therapist.
You testified to another incident in March of 2013 where Mr. Depp hit you while he was wearing a lot of rings. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
And you testified you felt like your lip went through your teeth and it got a little blood on the wall.
Yes, I remember that.
There isn't a picture of you with injuries after that alleged incident, is there?
I don't know if I've seen one. I can't recall. There are a lot of pictures.
You didn't produce any photographs after that alleged incident, did you, Ms.
I don't
Wright?
know if I took one or if it's included. I'm not quite sure which ones.
You didn't show any pictures to this jury after describing that alleged incident that your teeth, your lip went into your teeth. You don't remember that, right? You didn't show any pictures to this jury after describing that incident, right?
I don't believe I've seen that picture admitted.
That picture doesn't exist.
I don't know which one you're talking about. We have pictures from March 2013, yes.
The only picture that you've produced and shown to this jury is the one that was just put up on the screen, where you said he hit you multiple times in the face, and you appear to have what is a bruise on your arm, correct?
I believe this is the only picture that's in evidence right now.
So what is red herring? A red herring is something that misleads or distracts from a relevant or important question. It may be either a logical fallacy or a literary device that leads readers or audiences towards a false conclusion. A red herring may be used intentionally as in mystery fiction or as a part of rhetorical strategies, e.g., in politics, especially in politics, but also malignant narcissists, or basically almost all narcissists use this, or may be used in an argumentation inadvertently, if I pronounce it right. So this is what it means. Now, to add a little bit more information to it, logical fallacy. As an informal fallacy, the red herring falls into a broad class of relevance fallacies, unlike the straw man, which involves a distortion of the other party's position. The red herring is a seemingly plausible, though ultimately irrelevant, diversionary tactic. So keep that in mind for the next scene that you're going to see when Amber Heard of Amber Third is going to use it. And now that you know what red herring means, let Amber demonstrate how red herring is used publicly and in court. Oh, by the way, before I'm gonna start this, keep a close eye to how Amber constantly tries to answer the jury.
So in this October 2018 interview, you said that you had, quote, donated, end quote, your entire divorce settlement to charity, right?
That's correct.
And in fact, your exact words were, quote, $7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, end quote. Right?
That's correct. I made that statement as soon as I got a divorce and we reached the settlement. That's when I pledged it, right then.
And you say this because you, quote, wanted nothing, end quote.
That is correct.
But you hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement to charity at that point, had you?
That's incorrect.
Pay close
Sitting
attention.
here today, Ms. Heard, you still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. Isn't that right?
Incorrect. I pledged the entirety of the
Ms. Heard,
settlement, $7 million
that's
to
not my
charity,
question.
and
Ms.
I
Heard,
intend to
Ms.
fulfill
Heard,
those obligations.
Ms. Heard, that's not my question. Please,
What was
try
your
to answer
question?
my question. Sitting here today, you have not donated the $7 million donated, not pledged, donated the
Once
$7
again,
million
pay close
divorce
attention.
settlement to charity.
I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another. They're
But I
the same
don't.
thing.
Ms. Heard, I don't use it synonymously.
That's how donations are paid.
Ms. Heard, respectfully, that's not my question. As of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the ACLU. Yes or no?
I have not yet.
And as of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, correct?
I have not yet. Johnny sued me.
So as of today, you have not donated, paid $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity, right?
I have not been able to fulfill those.
That statement isn't true today, as you sit here today, is it?
It is true. I pledged the entirety.
But you
to
didn't
charity.
donate it.
Unfortunately,
You didn't donate it. It's a yes or no.
I haven't been able to to fulfill those.
So that's a no, right, Ms. Heard?
I made the pledge. I want to be very clear. I pledged the entirety. I haven't been able to fulfill those pledges because I've been sued.
You had all of the $7 million for 13 months before Mr. Depp sued you, and you chose not to pay it to the charities you pledged it to. Is that correct, Ms.
I
Heard?
disagree with your characterization of that.
And that is red herring. Constantly try to answer in order to distract. However, Miss Vasquez, as a professional, did not buy it and did see this one coming, and which is why she was able to tackle it. Now, these are the traits that I've noticed the most during the trial. And I must say, the best thing about this whole trial is that Miss Sturt is messing up her whole case just by talking and contradicting her stories. Also to add, Miss Vasquez is awesome at giving her the cross-examination. So here is the thing, because she has no evidence to back up her case other than her lies, I'm assuming, don't get me wrong, it still can go downhill because of possibly corrupt jury members. But this should be an easy win for Mr. Depp. So, here is the next thing I want to say. I'm busy making what should be like a documentary about Mrs. Sturd or Miss Sturd to shed more light on everything. As of now, I'm rebuilding my studio, and once it's done, I'll take all the info from all the tablets and my laptop and put it on my new PC and continue Project Turd. Now this way, while the trial's going, you will see much more. Excuse me, somebody is sending me a message. You will see much more than you probably haven't seen. Plus, I will cover up the case as well, because this is also very interesting to shed some light about this case. However, there are many points I need to talk about as well, which will be done by the end of the trial. So stay tuned, and thank you for your time to check out my video. I really appreciate it. Drop a like and comment, plus subscribe to my channel to see more. And as always, doe normaal.